He saw a young gardening monk emerge from the temple carrying 2 wicker baskets. For the next 3 hours, he watched the young monk carefully pick up every leaf and twig that had fallen from the spreading plum tree in the centre of the garden. As he picked up each leaf and twig, the young monk would turn it over in his soft hand, examine it, ponder over it, and if it was to his liking, he would delicately place it in one of the baskets. If it wasn't to be of use to him, he would drop it in the second basket, the rubbish basket. Having collected and thought over every leaf and twig, having emptied the rubbish basket on the pile at the rear of the temple, he paused to take tea and compose his mind for the next crucial stage. The young monk spent another 3 hours, mindfully, carefully, skillfully, placing each leaf and twig just in the right place in the garden. If he wasn't satisfied with the position of a twig, he would turn it slightly or move it forwards a little, until with a light smile of satisfaction he would move on to the next leaf, choosing just the right shape and colour for its place in the garden. His attention to detail was unparalleled. His mastery over the arrangement of colour and shape was superb. His understanding of natural beauty was sublime. When he was finished, the garden looked immaculate. Then the old monk stepped out into the garden. From behind a broken-toothed smile, he congratulated the young gardening monk. "Well done indeed, Venerable. I've been observing you all morning. Your diligence is worthy of the highest of praise. And your garden, well, your garden is almost perfect." The young monk's face went white. His body stiffened as if he had been stung by a scorpion. His smile of self-satisfaction slipped from his face and tumbled into the great chasm of the void. In Japan you can never be sure of old grinning monks. "What do you mean?" he stuttered through his fear. "What do you mean, almost perfect?" And he prostrated himself at the old monk's feet. "Oh, master! Oh, teacher, please release your compassion on me. You have surely been sent by the Buddha to show me how to make my garden really perfect. Teach me, O wise one. Show me the way." "Do you really want me to show you?" asked the old monk, his ancient face creasing with mischief. "Oh, yes, please do. Oh, please, master." So the old monk strode into the centre of the garden. He put his old but still strong arms around the leafy plum tree. Then, with the laugh of a saint, he shook the hell out of that poor tree. Leaves, twigs, and bark fell everywhere, and still the old monk shook that tree. When no more leaves would fall, he stopped. The young monk was horrified. The garden was ruined. The whole morning's work was wasted. He wanted to kill the old monk. But the old monk merely looked around him, admiring his work. Then, with a smile that melts anger, he said gently to the young monk, "Now your garden is really perfect." What's done is finished. The monsoon in Thailand is from July to October. During this period, the monks stop travelling, put aside all work projects, and devote themselves to study and meditation. The period is called Vasa, or the rain's retreat. In the south of Thailand, some years ago, a famous abbot was building a new hall in his forest monastery. When the rain's retreat came, he stopped all work and sent the builders home. This was the time for quiet in his monastery. A few days later, a visitor came, saw the half-constructed building, and asked the abbot when his hall would be finished. Without hesitation, the old monk said, "The hall is finished." "What do you mean, the hall is finished?" the visitor replied, taken aback. "It hasn't got a roof. There are no doors or windows. There are pieces of wood and cement bags all over the place. Are you going to leave it like that? Are you mad? What do you mean the hall is finished?" The old abbot smiled and gently replied, "What's done is finished." And then he went away to meditate. That is the only way to have a retreat or take a break. Otherwise, our work is never finished. The Idiot's Guide to Peace of Mind. I told the previous story to a large audience one Friday evening in Perth. On the following Sunday, an angry parent came to tell me off. He had attended that talk together with his teenage son. On Saturday evening, his son wanted to go out with friends. The father asked him, "Have you finished your homework yet, son?" His son replied, "As Ajahn Brahm taught us at the temple last night, Dad, what's done is finished. See ya." The following week, I told another story. Most people in Australia have a garden with their house, but only a few know how to find peace in their garden. For the rest, the garden is just another place for work. So I encourage those with a garden to nurture its beauty by working a while, and nurture their hearts by just sitting peacefully in the garden, enjoying nature's gifts. The first idiot thinks this is a jolly good idea, so they decide to get all the little jobs out of the way first, and then they will allow themselves a few moments of peace in their garden. After all, the lawn does need mowing, the flowers could do with a good watering, the leaves need raking, the bushes need pruning, the path needs sweeping. Of course, it takes up all of their free time just to get a fraction of those little jobs out of the way. The work is never finished, so they never get to have a few minutes of peace. Have you ever noticed that in our culture the only people who rest in peace are found in the cemetery? The second idiot thinks they are much smarter than the first. They put away the rakes and the watering cans and sit out in the garden reading a magazine, probably with glossy pictures of nature. But that's enjoying your magazine, not finding peace in your garden. The third idiot puts away all the gardening tools, all the magazines, newspapers and radios, and just sits in the peace of their garden. For about 2 seconds. Then they start thinking,